Hello, my name is Preston Steele, and my partner for our Capstone project was Eric Cheadle. Now, for our project, we chose to do a Microsoft and Cisco infrastructure for a small business. A little bit about the infrastructure that we'll be supporting is we have around 50 users. There are two domain controllers, a mail server, and we also have a VPN service. Now, to kind of get started, we used a Simpsons naming standard when it came to naming all the servers and services and stuff. We thought that way it'd be kind of fun for us to come up with all the stuff, and then also for presenting the project, it keeps people kind of listening a little bit more, trying to see what's going on next. So that's why you see a picture of Homer there. But anyways, to get going here, the name of our domain is Springfield.com, and Homer here is our primary domain controller. And some of the services that uh, Homer takes care of is being the primary domain controllers, the Active Directory services, and the DNS server. But it's also the DHCP server for the whole network. It does some file services with DFS replication and some share management. It has a Hyper-V server with one virtual machine running. We'll talk about this later on. And then it also has the print server for the company. So talk a little bit about what we have going on here with our DNS. We have it configured to forward out our DNS lookups for the internet out to AT&T, which is our local internet provider here. And so that allows all of our systems to get on the internet through these servers, and we have a little more control over it that way. Now we have two different networks on our system. We have a 192.168.2 and a 192.168.1 address. Our one address is all of our wireless clients, and our two addresses is everything that's plugged in. And we decided to do this, one, to keep those segregated, but two, when we started testing around the VPN and stuff, it made it a lot easier to be on the .1 network and to VPN into the .2 network instead of actually having to try to leave the building and get on another public internet connection and then VPN back in, which we did do once we got it all working and everything, but just for testing and everything, this made it a lot easier. Now, for our file services, we did do some DFS replication, which we'll talk about later on. We didn't really do any namespaces. We did the home drives and then like some software, like resources for clients to get a hold of, but we didn't go real in depth with it. Being a small business, we didn't see the need for it. And then the Hyper-V, both our servers have Hyper-V running, and we do have a couple different virtual machines used for testing. One was Barney here is used for software type testing, and on our other domain controller, we had Hyper-V going. We had another testing client running for all of our group policy and security rights and stuff testing. And then also we have the print server here, which we're sharing just one printer as of right now, but it's a network laser office printer. So to go a little bit more here, here you can take a look. This is our second domain controller, Marge, here. And this server has the same Active Directory and DNS services because it is a domain controller, but also has the file services for our replication point for our home folders and our data, everything that we have. It's also the second Hyper-V setup that we have. Oh, I forgot the Quimby here is our Microsoft Exchange server, which we'll talk about later. That's running in a virtual environment just because we only had two physical servers to run everything on. Marge here does the network policy, which is we have set up a radius for our VPN server to authenticate against to let people onto the network from outside. And then IIS, which is required for some of these other different services running. And then we also have a WSUS server running here, which is a Windows Server Update Services, which we'll talk about later as well.